Happy Tuesday or Thursday or whatever day of the week it is when you're watching this. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So as you can tell by the title, I am going to give Cassandra Goth and Caleb Vatore and their family a makeover today, but before we do, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit of their original story. So this story is outdated, but then I'm going to update you about their current lives when we get into CAS mode. So, Caleb Vatore fell in love with Cassandra Goth, and per her request, he turned her, so they'd never have to be apart. He will love her for eternity, and they will be together, side by side, for forever. As a former human, newly turned vampire, Cassandra still mingles with the human world as she works to get her degree at university, and Caleb supports her. After all, education is everything. The two are engaged and in no rush to their wedding. After all, they have all the time in the world. Alright, so now that I read the little story for you guys, let's go ahead and actually get into the video. Alrighty, so here we have Caleb Vatore. We're going to start off with him because obviously as the patriarch, I don't have a ton of changes that I'm making to his outfits and everything, but basically what happened was Caleb and Cassandra had met after Cassandra had broken up with Sophia Bjergsen or something like that. You guys know that family. They're all blonde. They come with Windenburg. I really doubt I'm saying their names correctly, so I hope you know who I'm talking about. Anyways, Cassandra and Sophia broke up and decided to be best friends because they were very close for many years. They had been together. They had actually temporarily lived together, and they're like senior year of high school to like early part of college. And then they kind of broke up, and Cassandra had moved back into the Goth mansion with her parents and her brother Alexander, who little baby boy grew up, guys. And Sophia kind of stayed in their house because she really liked her independence. And eventually, you know, she goes off to meet Vanessa Young because they're both YouTube personalities, which is how they like made their money. So they're SimTubers, Cassandra and Sophia. And so Sophia was pretty loaded. Also, her family was giving her money. So anyway, she had met Vanessa on the SimDaw dating app and, you know, Sparks. Anyways, so Cassandra and Caleb just naturally ran into each other one day, and they started having feels and, you know, sparks. I kind of forget how they like ended up together because it's been so long since they've been together in my stay for so long. So I kind of forget literally all the interesting parts. But basically at one point, Caleb was still living with his sister Lilith, and he had invited Cassandra to move in with him. But obviously he needed her and Lilith to meet because they hadn't met yet, for obvious reasons, because he took his time letting her know that he's a vampire and all that ordeal. And so he brings Cassandra to the Vatore house, and Lilith ends up putting a mind control influence on her and tries to drink her blood, and really she doesn't very much like Cassandra because she's mortal. And so Caleb intervenes, and he basically gets in this huge fight with Lilith, and he leaves with Cassandra, and they move out really across the street because Forgotten Hollow is so small. And they move into their own house, and he basically cuts off Lilith. He never talks to her again. He ignores her every time she comes to his house, and the last time he saw her, they got into a very huge vampire duel. And obviously Caleb has been honing his skills for a very long time, especially being with Cassandra. She was going to university. He first tried out university and then decided that it just wasn't very befitting and ended up just focusing on his vampire ranking. And I believe he's now like a Grand Master Vampire. And so he's very strong. And so in his battle with Lilith, you know, he defeats her, she leaves, he never talks to her again. And so Lilith, this whole time of being ignored by her brother, ends up meeting Dirk Dreamer, which if you guys don't know, Dirk is like this random townie that comes with Get Famous. And he is like a 5-star celebrity, very important to the community. But anyways, Lilith puts like a mind control in him because she really just wants kids, and who better than a really rich guy? Especially because at this point there were not enough vampires around for her to find another vampire, so she just deals with a mortal and uses him for kids. But obviously, after Caleb leaves and she has no friends and she feels super lonely, she ends up keeping him around, and they actually kind of fall in love a little bit. It's like half mind control, half genuine. It's a whole ordeal. Anyways, at this point, Lilith and Dirk have a few kids, and then they also adopted a few kids. And even though Caleb never really talked to Lilith and he didn't like her very much, he ended up being able to meet the oldest of their kids, named Bella, because she was adopted kind of while Caleb was still living there, right before Lilith and him had a falling out. And so he was able to kind of build a connection with Bella, as you can see now. Isn't she adorable? I really love her makeover. And he adores her. That is his favorite niece, and it's the one that he knows the most, and so he loves her. So anyways, flash forward, after the final duel between Caleb and Lilith, basically, Lilith and Dirk end up dying. Primarily, I think it was a sun issue because she was out in the sun, because Dirk kind of never really caught on that she was a vampire, because, half the time he's being, brainwashed. And so they were out and about, and she ends up dying. And Dirk ends up dying because he's finally, really released from her, trance. And he's kind of lost it. He's very confused, and he basically dies from starvation. And the kids are obviously informed that their parents have died. They're heartbroken, and Bella ushers them to go to Uncle Caleb's house. And so obviously when they go there and tell him the news, he was really kind of stoic about it, but he comforts the children and obviously takes them in. And so now the household is Caleb, Cassandra, their twins, which you can see on the far left in the bottom screen. Is what are their kids' names again? I think one of them is named Maybella, and Norman. I know the boy is named Norman because it was kind of a little reference to the Bates Motel. Because if you haven't watched that show, the main character's name is Norman and his mom's name is Norma, and the Bates Motel is very odd, and so they paint Norman to be this very odd person, which kind of makes sense, sort of. I haven't watched it for a very long time, and I never finished it, so there's a lot of things I'm confused about. But I remember in the first season, I was like, oh, is his name Norman and her name Norma, because they're trying to pretend they're normal? And so I just thought it would be funny to name a vampire Norman because he's normal. You don't know anything. But yeah, and then Maybella because I just think it was cute. But yeah, and then they have Victoria and Victor, which were adopted twins. And then they had, oh wait, no they weren't. I think Victoria and Victor are Lilith and Dirk's biological twins, I believe. And then Bella and, what is his name? Okay, the oldest son, I forget his name, but Bella and her brother next to him are the adopted ones. I believe that's correct. But yeah, so it's a huge ordeal, and basically they all live in the new place that Caleb and Cassandra have, and currently it's being renovated because they needed a lot more space now with all of the kids, plus they already kind of wanted to renovate their house. Okay, when I say renovate, it's not even a renovation. They bulldozed it and they're rebuilding from the ground up. But yeah, I'll try to bring that video for you guys soon, but my building skills are laughable. So it's taken me a while to be even remotely satisfied with the house. I kind of don't mind the exterior right now, but I really hate my floor plans, so I kind of plan to change them. I don't know. So you guys will get a build of their house eventually, and if you want to watch it, stay tuned, subscribe so you can be around to see when I upload it. But yeah, that's the whole story. I know I actually had something to tell you, primarily because I played with this house a lot and I really love them. And honestly, oh my gosh, that voice crack. You know what? I'm going to leave this in because I'm lazy. But honestly, I would say, oh my gosh, I love this sweater. I believe it came with nifty knitting. And it's just so nifty, Oh my gosh, let me stop. But anyways, I guess this is a perfect time to shout out, hey guys, I have an Instagram at The Right Summer. Please feel free to check it out. It's always linked on my YouTube channel as well as in my description box. And I just keeping you guys updated with some personal gameplay and when I post and things like that. And if you want to like reach me, you know, call me, beep me, something, reach me. I really messed that up. But, you know, you can just message me on Snapchat. Wait, what? Instagram. This is embarrassing. And it's all going to stay in here because this is what you came here for. Also, the reason why these kids look stretched out is because I was using an outdated standstill mod. Actually, I was using the standstill mod and the Sims 4 Creative Sim, which I will link down below. And I don't think it's really, like, the reason why toddlers look like this, it's not really because it's outdated, but it's just because the mod is more made for children and up. So that's why they look like this. Also, I'm not keeping this bag. I just kind of wanted to see it because I have not used like We Wear bags at all. And I just wanted to see it. But anyways, that's that interesting thing. Here is your screenshot. I've made it to the end. You guys have really stayed here this whole time, and I truly appreciate that. So I really hope you guys have a grand day. Please like this video, comment anything positive down below, especially if you want to tell me what you want to go ahead and see, and subscribe. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye! And have a grand day.